Hey, it's Christina with Tina Girl Travels. We're here in North Africa in the country of Morocco. In this video, we'll be visiting some of the fantastic shopping areas in Marrakesh, Fez, Chefchaouen, and we'll pop into the market in Tangier. I'm going to show you some great things to bring home, some things to avoid, and what to watch out for. Let's cross this busy road and head into the Medina at Marrakesh. Let's start out by having a quick look on Google Maps of the area we're talking about. We came into Marrakesh by train. Here's the main train station. We stayed in a hotel about a 10-minute walk from the station. Nice restaurants around here, a few little shops. We loved one called Plus 61. They had great food. You're going to need a reservation though. Now we love walking and try to avoid taxis as much as possible. So we walked to the Medina each day. This was about a 30 to 35-minute walk. This is that busy intersection you saw at the beginning of the video. We're just trying to cross this road right here. You can see how huge the Medina, or the walled part of the city, is. It's honestly like going back in time though. You can see it's just a maze of streets. This is where we entered the city and walked down to Gemma El Fana. That's the famous market you always see in pictures with the cobras and the monkeys. You'll see that in a minute. All right, we've just arrived at the gates of the Medina. We're gonna head on in. The Marrakesh Medina is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and wandering these streets feels literally like you've stepped back in time. Like, I'm talking biblical times. It's just so amazing. So there's about 3,000 stalls, and oh, I just got in trouble for filming the chicken store. I guess they don't want you to see that these chickens come very, very fresh. So this is the biggest traditional market in Morocco. It's filled with all kinds of food, and they've got leather products, which you'll see in a second, ceramics, carpets, spices, and handcrafted goods in every direction. One thing people don't realize about shopping in the Marrakesh souks is that haggling is part of the culture. And a good rule of thumb is to start at about 1/3 of the asking price and meet somewhere in the middle. Now, Keith and I have done a lot of global shopping in markets like these. You can check out my videos on my YouTube channel. I'm not convinced that everything you see in the markets is locally made. In fact, I'm not convinced that it's all even made in Morocco. So keep that in mind when you're shopping. Now, we did a lot of shopping in the markets in Morocco. We found the deeper into the market you go, the cheaper the prices get. I love these leather belts. They are so pretty. Let's check out this store. Now, a lot of people think that everything in a Moroccan market is handmade locally, but that's not always true. Morocco has an incredible artisan culture. Leatherwork, ceramics, rugs, metal lamps, and argan oil are often genuinely crafted here. But with the rise of tourism, many cheaper souvenirs you see in the souks are actually imported from places like China, India, Turkey, or Pakistan, and they're not always labeled. So things like perfectly printed ceramics, cheap rugs, fashion jewelry, magnets, and mass-produced wooden boxes are usually not Moroccan at all. Now, the best way to tell the difference is to look for small imperfections. Feel the material and ask where the workshop is. Handmade Moroccan pieces always have character, texture, and kind of a human touch, while factory items look a little too perfect. So when you're shopping, take your time, because the real handmade treasures are absolutely worth finding. Shopping, narrow alleys, and okay, did you just see that motorcycle riding through? Okay, the strangest thing about the Medina in Marrakesh we found was that they allow motorcycles to drive right through the main shopping areas, right down those narrow alleys. You absolutely need to stay alert. A lot of the drivers don't slow down, and in the tighter enclosed areas, you can really get hit hard with the fumes. I guess it's all part of the experience. I don't think they're actually allowed to ride there, but they do anyways. Keep your eyes open because they often don't slow down. All right, this is something we saw all over Morocco, these beautiful handmade leather balls. So cool. I wish I had brought one of those home. We did, however, buy these belts. They were a really good price and really beautiful. I do really love a good garden center. They had some beautiful plants here, and it's always fun to see what they can grow that we can't grow or what we have that they have. Do you recognize anything here? Now you're going to find a lot of stalls selling herbs, spices, oils, ground beauty products. Do your research before you come so you know what you're looking for and how much you should spend. Now Keith got completely suckered into buying the teeniest bag. I'm talking probably a teaspoon of little clear crystals that smelled like 10 times stronger than Vicks Vapor Rub, and he paid a small fortune for it. So you know what? Do a little research. Make sure you know what all this stuff is. The wood products are beautiful. They're often made from eucalyptus, lemon wood, olive, walnut, and cedar.
Watch us. Watch us, see?
Yeah.
George Clooney. George Clooney and the desert.
Oh, Keith, he's such a good sport.
Look at them.
Now, if you're looking for little treasures to bring home, you'll definitely find them here. Honestly, I did think things would be less expensive. Now, Keith is not a haggler. I tend to be a bit aggressive when it comes to haggling. He always wants to pay what they ask, which is usually astronomical, and I want to haggle them down to the last penny. Now, that shop right there, I really love that shop. I ended up buying several bags that I'll show you at the end of this video. Beautiful hand crocheted bags, and I finally just walked right in there, told him what I wanted to pay, and he rang up the sale and we were done. It was painless. It was amazing. Right above his shop are all these cool little boutique shops. Beautiful things up here, like really unique things that I didn't see anywhere else in the market. So if you notice that guy's shop, and there's like that little French bakery right beside it, and right behind the French bakery is a staircase that'll take you up to these shops. Lots of glassware, beautiful purses, like next level sort of leather stuff, which is, and clothing as well, and shoes that are super pretty. Oh, look at that bag. That's beautiful. It looks like leather and felt. Oh, check out those goat slippers. Those are unique. All right, so while we were in Marrakesh, we actually did a food tour, which was very interesting. They brought us into the market to different places, like where they sell different nuts and different spices and olives and candies and figs, and oh my goodness, it was so beautiful. And we got to stand there and taste everything, and I just photographed everything because it was just so pretty. I love the way they lay everything out in these jars, and oh, so pretty. I highly recommend taking a food tour. All these olives tasted different, and they were just so fresh and delicious. We also got to try some escargot and their soup that they serve all over Morocco, and we got to try all different kinds of things. Now, one thing I didn't love on the food tour, we ended up in a shop where they sold oils, herbs, creams, and teas. I ended up getting ripped off here because they quoted everything in euros rather than Moroccan dirhams. That was sneaky. Now, I ended up paying a fortune for tea and a little scented sachet. Keep your eyes open for that. We came across that a few times. Also, keep that in mind when you go to the airport to fly out. As soon as we hit the departure lounge, everything was in euros. It's such a ripoff. I ended up spending hundreds of dirhams on Starbucks mugs because they were the only ones that would take my cash. Now, I promised I'd show you this. When you find your way to the main square in the Medina called Jama El Fana, you're going to see some crazy stuff. Let me warn you, if you even look in the direction of the cobras, you will pay. If you walk close to the guys with the monkeys, they will put them on you and you can expect to pay. So if you want to see them, go for it. If you don't, just say no thank you and keep walking, or try to avoid that area. The next city we're going to shop in is Fez. Now, I loved Fez. It's Morocco's cultural capital, and it's been around for over 1,200 years. Now, we stayed in the most beautiful riad within the city walls called Riad Al Bartel. I felt like an absolute princess staying here. Now, we did take a taxi from the train station to the riad, and here's an example of why I don't love taking taxis. Why do they have to remove the window crank handle? And of course, the child locks are on, so the driver has to let me out. It just gives you that creepy feeling. Don't do that. So here's a picture of the area that I'm talking about on Google Maps. Down here is Marrakesh, where we just came from, and here is Fez. Now, as we scroll in closer, here's the old town, or the Medina. It's tucked up here, and as we scroll in even farther, you can see it's a maze of streets again. Now, our riad was located down here, and we just basically wandered up in this general area and found all the shops and restaurants, and it's kind of a fun place to get lost. You know what? You'll eventually find your way back home. Now, before we start shopping in Fez, I just want to suggest that you keep your eyes open in Morocco for the Al Barid Bank. We found it right away at the airport. The bank machines always worked for us with our Canadian cards, and cash is king when shopping in Morocco. Now, we found that every market in Morocco has a completely different vibe. Fez was my favorite, and honestly, this Medina is unlike anywhere else I've ever been. It's one of the largest car-free urban areas in the entire world, and it has over 9,000 tiny alleys, twisting and turning kind of like a giant maze. Now, there are no motorcycles whipping through, but you will see a lot of cats hanging around, wide open butcher shops. This guy was so friendly and is actually Instagram famous. And of course, there's got to be a little shock value. Yes, that is the head of a camel. Like I said, there are no cars, but you get donkeys and carts and shopkeepers that are shouting. There's crowds moving in every direction. It's busy, chaotic, but it's fun too to be part of the hustle and bustle of the city. Now, the Fez Medina is the oldest in Morocco, dating back to the 9th century. You really feel that history the moment you step inside. People aren't just here to sell to tourists. In fact, over 150,000 locals actually live inside the Medina, and many of them come from long family lines of artisans. Craftsmanship here isn't a hobby, it's a heritage and a way of making money. I kept saying to Keith, do these people know it's 2025? It's literally like being in a time warp. It's such a great experience. Now, one of the places you absolutely have to see in Fez, whether you're shopping or not, is the tannery. Now, we followed this guy. I lovingly called him the Grim Reaper. He told us that he was taking us to see the tannery. It's nearly 1,000 years old, and the dyeing process is still completely natural. You'll see vats filled with colors from saffron, indigo, poppy flower, and henna, and workers stand right in the pits treating leather by hand. It's definitely not the best smelling stop you'll make in Fez, but it is unforgettable. This is also where you'll find some of the best leather bags, belts, and slippers in Morocco. Now, to deal with the awful smell, they're going to give you a sprig of mint. They give you a little bit of mint to smell so that when you're standing here, you can sniff on that.
We were working 4 kinds of leather: a goat, cow, sheep, and dromedary means camel.
Now, this guy was actually a really good tour guide. He took the time to tell us all about the tannery. There are many viewpoints all around the tannery. This one was really good. Here is a card if you want to take a screenshot and check this place out when you visit. Now, just keep in mind, he's also a salesman, and it's not going to be easy to get out of that shop that we walked through without feeling obligated to buy something. I think he just got tired of us because I couldn't make a decision. But the prices were quite expensive, and we did find the same products for much less farther in the market, except for that bag that was nowhere to be found. I wish I had bought it.
فالمؤمنون نصحة والمنافقون غششة أحبابنا.
We really loved this area, Souvenir Square. As soon as you walk in, you'll hear the non-stop rhythm of coppersmiths hammering metal by hand. It echoes off the buildings. They honestly must all be deaf by the time they go home. Now, I just made a connection to the name Souvenir because our suite in the riad was called Souvenir. And have a look at the giant round bathtub and the sink in the corner. They would have been made right here in Souvenir Square. I want to share one really important tip as you wander the streets of Fez. You'll notice beautiful street signs everywhere. A hexagon means it's a dead end, and a square means that it's a through street. Keep that in mind as you navigate. You will be approached, usually by young men telling you that a street is closed. All they're trying to do is to get you to ask for directions. They'll take you there, and then they're going to demand money. Don't panic, just check the sign. If it's square, you're good. It's a through road, keep going. I'll talk more about the scams that we ran into later in this video, but it's important to know what to expect before you go. So Fez is roughly 1215 to 1235 years old, and Fez can be intense. And yes, you might get turned around more than once. We sure did. But you know what? That's part of the fun. Pin your hotel or your city gate on your map on your phone, and you'll eventually find your way back. Now, when it comes to shopping, you're looking for the most authentic, handcrafted, traditional Moroccan shopping experiences. Fez and Chefchaouen are where it's at, hands down. Way more so than Marrakesh. Now, we did hire a private guide here in Fez to take us to a few sites around the city walls. He took us to the palace and this hilltop overlooking the Medina, and he also took us to a factory. Let's go have a look. All right, so we have just hired a private driver here in Fez, and we're paying 250 dirhams for a couple of hours of a drive around the city. So we'll see how this goes. So we've just been informed we're going on a factory tour, so we'll see what that entails.
The wheel to make sure we keep building these in the street.
So these are actually built upside down, and then they'll pour the backing onto it and flip it over.
For way before it's more durable. So carpet glass on top, couple of days, dry very well, and then you just like flip it and it ends up for example. Yeah.
Wow.
You know. That's the part.
Oh my goodness, look at all the details. Wow, I sure have a greater appreciation for these mosaic pieces and all the craftsmanship that goes into them. The factory ships all over the world, and I'm sad to say I didn't get the name of this factory. If you're watching this video and you know the name, please drop it below in the comments section. All right, so we've been in Fez for 2.5 days, and we have done the walk from our riad to the Blue Gate, like where the markets are and everything, for 2.5 days. And we're trying to find our riad, and it is virtually impossible. We keep making the wrong turns and going, oh man, out of the city, figuring to go back in the city again. And here's Keith, he's still trying to figure out which way to go. The best thing is to try and find landmarks, but even with the landmarks, you just lose your way. Like right behind me is that green thing where the motorcycles are. We look for that because that's where we have to turn. Somehow we walk right past it every time. And of course it's pouring rain and freezing cold. And we didn't bring our umbrella, and I didn't really bring a warm coat. So I'm really looking forward to getting back to our riad. Honestly, every single street and alley looks the same. And the problem is with Ramadan is that sometimes the stores are open and sometimes they're closed. So your route markers aren't always the same. And then you finally get to your riad and it's a very nondescript building. But inside it's absolutely amazing. And then it's always nice to come home. It is so nice to be back in our peaceful riad. It's amazing how the whole city just shuts out. As soon as you close the door, all the sounds are gone and you're just in this peaceful place. So we had such a busy day, and as you saw, the weather turned on us. We were here in March, so some days were really nice and warm and some days were rainy and cold. So we've enjoyed lots of Moroccan food, but tonight we brought home a pizza. Tomorrow we head out to the Blue Pearl city of Chefchaouen. Now, Chefchaouen was made famous by Instagram. It's known as the Blue Pearl or the Blue City of Morocco. It's located in the Rif Mountains and can easily be done as a day trip from Tangier or Fez, which is what we did. Now, you need to watch my video on this day trip. We had some interesting things happen that have never happened on any other trip. I'll link that video to the end of this one. We started out by going on a walking tour of the city, and then we had time to explore on our own. Let's have a look at the treasures to be found here. Now, we really loved this day trip and would highly recommend coming here. Honestly, this little city is more blue than you ever think. Every corner, every stairway, every little alley, all different shades of that soft powdery blue. Now, everyone here will give you a different story about why the city's blue. Some say the color was introduced by Jewish refugees in the 1930s to represent the sky and heaven. Others insist it keeps mosquitoes away. Our guide said it was to hide scuff marks on the walls from kids playing soccer, and the locals will just shrug and tell you, we painted it because it looks beautiful, and honestly, they're all kind of right. Obviously, these are all the locals selling to locals. You see fresh milk, fruit, and vegetables. Okay, what is that? Is that bread on the ground? That's kind of weird. I wonder what the story is behind that. Maybe it's for the cats. There are thousands of them here. Well, whatever it is, it's definitely not food safe. I'm not buying any of that bread. Okay, this place is so different from the other medinas in Morocco. One of the best things about shopping in Chefchaouen is that it has a really calm, gentle vibe compared to Marrakesh and Fez. Now, you can take your time, wander around, and nobody is aggressively trying to sell you anything. Prices here are usually lower too, so it's a great place to pick up souvenirs. Okay, I know this video is about shopping, but one of the best souvenirs you can bring home is pictures and memories. Now, as you walk, you have to take a minute to look at the doors, the rounded tops, all the details, the keyhole shapes, the iron knockers. Everything here is so photogenic. It almost feels like it's staged, but it's not. About 40,000 people actually live here. Okay, now let's go do some shopping. Now, the leather here is beautiful, but I have a feeling that these bags are not actually made here. I bought this bag in Marrakesh for about half the price, still so beautiful. Now, this stuff is called indigo acara or blue Nila powder. It's made from fermented indigo leaves and it's been used for centuries to brighten skin, even skin tone, reduce dark spots, cleanse and soften the skin. You actually make a mask with rose water or even yogurt and smooth it on your face. That's kind of interesting. There's all kinds of powders here that you can buy to make yourself more beautiful. Now, one of my favorite things was the paintings. I often bring home a painting from our travels. I love anything handmade like this. I'll show you everything I bought in Morocco at the end of this video, including which painting I bought. Now, one of the things I loved about Chefchaouen is they still have those curvy little streets, and you can so easily get lost here as well. But it's not so big. Like, it's not like Marrakesh or Fez where there's thousands and thousands of streets. It's like a few little streets. So it's kind of, you get that same feeling of getting lost, but you're not really that lost. So there's beautiful handmade things. You can also buy the regular trinkets here, the keychains and things like that. Check out this bottle cap chair. That is so cool. Now, we did Chefchaouen as a day trip. If I were to do this trip again, I think we would like to spend the night and really take the time to explore this city on a deeper level. Next, we're heading to the very modern European-inspired city of Tangier, where we'll check out their old town. All right, here's a Google Maps view of Tangier. We stayed in the Hilton Garden Inn. It's just steps away from the train station and the water. It was beautiful. Now, I'll add a link to the video I made on that hotel to the end of this video. Now, the waterfront is beautiful and safe, and over here is the ancient Medina. Let's go have a look. Now, here you can see how modern Tangier is. It's so beautiful. And then we head to one of the oldest and most fascinating medinas in Morocco, and honestly one of the easiest to explore. Everything here winds uphill toward Kasbah, but the alleys are wide enough that you never feel boxed in. So parts of this medina date all the way back to the 14th century, and you can see the old fortress walls built by the Portuguese and later expanded by the Moroccan sultans. Now, it's one of those places where every corner feels layered. Moroccan, Spanish, and Portuguese. It's all blended together. You enter through the Grand Soko, which is this lively square full of people coming and going. The Tangier Medina is wonderful. It's calmer than Marrakesh and less overwhelming than Fez, and I found that the shopkeepers here are really pretty relaxed. Every once in a while the alley will just open up and you'll get this sudden view of the Mediterranean or even the coast of Spain if it's a clear day. Now, it's such a beautiful reminder of how close Europe and Africa really are. So take your time here, wander, browse, and enjoy the mix of history and shopping. This market definitely feels like it's geared towards the locals. The fresh fish, and then there's bread. Check out what this guy is cooking. He's got fries, sardines, peppers, all kinds of stuff. Now, I actually had to do a Google search on this. This is called a cherimoya fruit. It's also known as a custard apple. That's interesting. Now, there's some banana Nutella pancakes for you and different baking. It's a little unappetizing because it's sitting right beside the road, but I'm sure it's delicious. You really notice the architecture is different here with the balconies, and they kind of have that Spanish feel. Here's some more leather bags. There are so many to choose from. I love a good leather bag. They just last forever, and they look better with age too. Now, you'll see these slippers everywhere. Some have rubber bottoms, and you can also get them with leather bottoms. Wow, when you walk through this market, you really feel like you could be in Europe somewhere. Now, don't worry, if you're a keychain or a fridge magnet collector, you'll find them here. This is also a great place to buy one of those leather belts. Now, this market has a lot of clothes, and we really haven't seen too much of that in the other markets. A lot of traditional garments are here, and they also have jeans and modern t-shirts. And speaking of modern t-shirts, here are some of those poorly interpreted English t-shirts. You'll also notice that Moroccan markets, just like the ones I showed you in my shopping in Egypt video, are full of knockoff clothing and shoes. You'll see piles of Nike and Adidas sneakers, Gucci belts, and designer looking bags that definitely didn't come from the real brands. Most of these items are imported, not Moroccan, and the quality can be hit or miss. Some pieces feel okay and others not so much. They're fun to browse if you just want something inexpensive or trendy, but don't expect authentic luxury. These are fast fashion copies meant for tourists, so if you're here for true Moroccan craftsmanship, you want to head towards the artisan areas instead. Now, the majority of the Moroccan people are lovely, and they're kind, they're generous, they're loving people, they're family people who are very proud of their country. Now, we really enjoyed meeting and chatting with many of them, and then there's the scammers. And I promised you I would tell you about another scam, and we actually ran into this twice in 2 different cities. And it usually starts with someone stopping you on the street and saying, "Hey, I work at your hotel, do you recognize me?" They're friendly, they're confident, and they make it sound like you've already met them. And if you hesitate, they'll jump in with, "I saw you at breakfast this morning," or "I'm the night receptionist," and they know you're likely staying in a hotel or a riad. The whole point is to make you second guess yourself. What they really want is to guide you somewhere, usually to a shop owned by a friend or a place where they'll earn a commission. It's not a dangerous scam, but they can be really persistent, especially in bigger cities like Marrakesh and Fez. The easiest way to handle it is to say no thank you and just keep walking. Now, don't stop and don't try to explain anything. The moment you keep moving, they move on. And just to be clear, your actual hotel staff would never approach you on the street like that. So if someone says they recognize you and tries to lead you somewhere, it's your cue to politely just walk away. All right, now this video makes it look like all we did was shop when we were in Morocco, and we did do a lot of that. We even went to the mall and we checked out this IKEA pod that was kind of floating in the middle of the mall. It was so cool. But we also rode camels. We visited Cap Spartel, where the Atlantic meets the Mediterranean. We took trains all over the country, including their bullet train, and we had a fantastic time. It was very interesting. It was like old world meets modern type of a country. And yeah, it was very cool. I'd love to go back again. All right, now let me show you the souvenirs that I brought home for our family. Now, I love bringing home souvenirs for our family. We have 3 kids who are married, so we have 3 in-law kids, and we have 8 grandchildren, and it's just so fun for me to go find things for all of them. So there's those mugs from Starbucks, the Casablanca and the Marrakesh. I am truly thankful that in the airport they took the dirhams and I could use those up. I had no idea that they wouldn't take cash anywhere else, like the dirhams, and they wanted euros as soon as you got into the airport. This is a rose tea, and then this is a mint tea here. This is the one where they scammed me a little bit by charging me in euros. Now here are those woven belts. These are so cool. You can actually adjust the size of the belts by unscrewing that little screw right there and shortening the belt. So we bought those for our son-in-laws and our son. And little shoes for our granddaughters. So cute. Little handmade leather shoes. Now these are kind of weird. These are for scrubbing your feet. And this one's for scrubbing your face. Don't love those, I gotta say. And this is like a scented sachet, and it does smell really nice. These were gifts that were given to us for free. And this is a bottle opener. I love this bottle opener. It's on my fridge, it's magnetic, and it's so pretty. Now these are the slippers that you saw everywhere, and they're kind of cool because the back folds down, but you can also fold them up. These ones have the leather bottoms on them. They are about 15 Canadian dollars. These ones have the rubber on the bottom. Here's the painting I bought, and it's actually a painting from Chefchaouen. It's hand painted. All right, and here's a handmade teapot that I bought. It was like this family that makes teapots. It was a really cool little shop, but this style is terrible, and the tea kind of pours out the top, and the handle somehow gets really hot. So not my favorite, but it is a great little memory. Now I bought 3 of these little jewelry boxes. They made really nice little gifts for my friends, and they were very inexpensive. I think they were about $3 each. And they're made in Fez. So cute. Okay, remember this purse? There was the brown one that was in Chefchaouen. I actually bought this one in Marrakesh. I bought purple. I'm not sure why. I just was in this purpley mood. I'm not in love with how this is completely finished, but you know what? It's cute. I did love these bags though. Now these ones I bought in the market in Marrakesh, and I love the tassel on them. They're hand crocheted bags. They're quite heavy, and I bought them in a few different colors. I love the earth tones in these. I gave them to my girls. And yeah, beautiful bags. Now this I bought in Marrakesh as well. There was a man sitting at the side of the road and he was carving these and using like this foot pedal thing, and there's that little piece in the middle there that just moves around. Like he had to carve that little piece out, which is so crazy. It's a little necklace, so cute. All right, I bought these fun little boxes for my grandsons. This one has a little snake that pops out and bites your finger. Now, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this was not made in Morocco, but anyways, I thought they were super cool. And these are like magic boxes. You have to know how to open them. I'll show you how. All right, this one has a little block here that you kind of push in, and that unlocks it, slides open the top lid, and then you lock it back in place. So you can hide all your little treasures in there. Now this one's really interesting. This one you grab by the corners and pull it open. So cool. Well, I hope you enjoyed my shopping in Morocco video. Thanks so much for watching right to the very end. I hope I was able to give you some helpful ideas if you're planning a trip to Morocco. Do me a favor, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell so you won't miss out on any of my future travel videos. And don't forget to drop a note in the comments. I love hearing where you're watching from, and I'm always happy to answer questions if I can. So when we travel, we always use our beautiful, rugged level 8 suitcases, along with our favorite anti-theft and anti-pickpocket backpacks, day packs, and crossbody bags. I'll add links below if you want to check those out. Thanks for watching Tina Girl Travels, and here are some videos you might want to watch next.